Season 2 of the Emu Cup has started, and I think we've already had roughly 30 or 40 games finished already, or something quite close to that number. It's been a lot. Uh, so, so today I picked out two games from the Emu Cup Season 2. Two pretty exciting games. The first one's featuring Dwarvintime, of course, current Ark Nova uh, arena leader, against EPE, player from Finland, who is, I mean, they are one of the lower rated Emu Cup participants, one of the lowest seeded players, being under 600 at the time of this game. But the thing with the Emu Cup is there are no free games, there are no easy games. Uh, in the group stages, there's groups of 16 people, so you play 15 best of ones. I'm currently 0 and 3, so there are no easy games in the Emu Cup. So the first one's an exciting game. Hello Bob, hello Randella, hello Harp Attack. Happy Friday and Happy New Year. That seems a bit late, but we'll take it. Okay, so Dwarventime's point of view, because Dwarventime is first player, of course he is. Ambron Research Institute projects of species diversity, predators, and reptiles. End goals are small animal and aquatic. Not ideal here. But, I mean, I think the two that pop out first are the Chinese water dragon and expert on Asia. Just cheap reptile tag. Fits both the end goals. Expert on Asia has some synergy with it. I think the next sort of obvious pick would be Victory Column. It's actually a really decent sponsor to just play in round one. Like, this thing, assuming there are 4 breaks in the game, which is pretty standard, this thing just gives you a minimum of 5 appeal. That's amazing. And then you might also hit the end game for 2 extra appeal. And it's, yeah, super cheap to play. You can play it like first move of the game very easily here. Last pick, you could definitely have a few options. Brown Spider Monkey has some upside for release, but the Tamarin's also just a cheap species tag, so we could look at doing Species Diversity 3 kind of early-ish. Hello Panda, hello Lix. Yes, we can mention emus today. But yeah, Dwarventime does decide to keep the Brown Spider Monkey with just that release upside, which is very reasonable. Yeah, also one thing to note, Dwarven still plays on the normal animation speed. Guys, if you don't know how to change the animation speed, yeah, you just click on the cog icons here, go to Other, and just set this to fast at the very least. You can do it for your regular games. You can do it when watching other people's replays, which is very handy, because the normal animation speed is just so slow. I can't believe we all used to play with it. But yeah, pretty good display here. I mean, Zoo School in Folder 1 is nearly always high priority to get early. Just the reputation's very useful. The conservation point's very useful a lot of the time. Then the other interesting thing is, I guess Slowworm's kind of interesting for that reptile tag, but so is Native Lizards. Just a free reptile tag. Yeah, first move, no surprises. Just playing the victory column to draw up the Zoo School. EPE's first move is just building a 1 size next to tower. A little bit suspicious, could mean a few things. I guess the 1 size animals that would come to mind are things like Scarlet Macaw or the Tarsier. Just normally they're blocked behind a Partner Zoo requirement, but here they're not. But we'll see. Dwarven starts with Asia Partner Zoo. I guess why not? Just some extra, I mean, discount for the Water Dragon. Just extra appeal when you play Export on Asia. Also don't really need to go for a university because there's one on the map here. There's also one on 8 CP. So if you get both of those, you look pretty silly starting with the university. And here we go, side entrance. Love to see it. This means the one size could have gone somewhere else, but this is just fully... This is the ideal spot for side entrance on this map. You have 5 spots around it that can just give you extra income. Dwarven does a cards action, draws from deck, hits a Sun Bear, of course. I mean, also Archaeologist is pretty noteworthy. If only there was a science to make it playable. But it's still decent just to get 1 free university, because it can lead to an early, like 2 universities, which is an early upgrade. Yeah, Sun Bear for easy species diversity and the Predators project. Pretty amazing. Out of all these, you can probably get rid of either Flamingo or the Brown Spider Monkey. Or Archaeologist, you know, whatever. EP does start with America's Partner Zoo, so now almost certainly thinking the Skull at Macaw, which would be just incredible with side entrance. Ignore sponsor condition. I think that would be far too strong. I think Research Institute is already very strong with the ability, but ignoring a sponsor requirement just completely busted. Like, talented communicator, round 1, no prerequisite. Please never make it happen. Size 2 could definitely be for the Sun Bear. Probably don't want to play it first animal though, but it's just also just edging our way to the university. EP just draws from deck. True, yeah, and the native can be some good endgame points. Oh, wait, no, Robert's saying ignore the 25 appeal cap from native. Yeah, no thank you. No thank you. Another great reason to never make it happen. I mean, obviously, we're not playing Sun Bear now. Kind of interesting losing some of the appeal value from Export on Asia, but I mean, the timing makes sense. You can just play the Water Dragon. I'd probably sell the Flamingo and Brown Spider Monkey here. Especially because we're going to maybe play Zoo School next move, which is just drawing another card or even 2 cards. Yeah, both those go. But we can also just play Export on Asia next move, I guess. There it is, and have a look at this income differential. After those guys come down, 22 income to 9 right now. This is one of the strongest openings you can get. The only thing that would make it better if there would be a project related like bird breeding program, then you could nearly call the game right there. Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah, no need to rush the break. Just play Export on Asia. Can even grab like hand size university here with a 2 size. EP plays Herpetologist, which is even better start. Like, Reptiles is a base project. This is going to give a lot of money. There's the 2 size. Hand size makes sense because we can draw 2 from deck next move. We can X back animals, can play Zoo School and drop 2 more cards. So having the hand size is nice. 4 size from EP. Yeah, I feel like I'm having deja vu, but that's because I did watch this game live as it happened. Okay, well, at the very least, Dwarven knows that the opponent does not have bird breeding programs, so that's a relief. Bamboo Forest, pretty interesting. Like, there's a porcupine here. Could be just a useful early project. But I assume the plan is just straight after the break, Sun Bear into Species 3. EP has another animal, a Sloth Bear into the 4 size. It doesn't necessarily mean a release for it, because the main reason for doing the 4 size was just to get the 5 money here, which allowed it to be playable, like perfect money to play it. So it doesn't necessarily mean release, But it also gives EP 4 species just going to the next round, which is pretty amazing. Dwarven just decides to break here. Oh yeah, so that also gives EP a 26 income to 11 advantage right now. Make that 12, because victory column, the appeal does boost your income, so that's cool. Still 26 to 12. But Dwarven has a bit of money left over from the first round with the sunbathing and cheap animal. In the display right now, highest priority cards, native lizards. The American bison becomes pretty high priority with the bamboo forest in hand. Low mountain range, generally high priority. EP takes snapping here for one of those cards. And 2 CP worker. I like to see it. I think especially when you have side entrance, you definitely want to have access to that second worker. Because when you have side entrance, you typically have a lot of money. And when you have a lot of money, you do not want breaks. So if you want to stay in a round longer, having extra workers is very useful. Does snap up the low mountain range, which makes sense. The Makor is here. It's releasable. Diversity researcher appears. Yep, here is Sun Bear into species 3. See if we get a copy. 2 size. I think 2 CP worker also makes sense because Dwarven is not that poor right now and still has a Zoo School that he wants to play. So, seems fine. Opting for the 2 size reward instead of the snapping. The huge benefit of the 2 size right now is not that huge because I was going to say you can just build a 5 size here, but we could have built a 5 size here. I think 5 size eyeing the bison, but we also need to sort of get to the research institute for that to be playable, as well as grabbing America's Partner Zoo and finding one more America's animal. So it's just sort of working our way towards the institute. Opponent draws from the deck. Native Lizard's still just sitting here, by the way. I think in the opponent's position would have been a pretty good move to snap it up, really. But yeah, we can't see their hands. There is the 5 size. I guess the other advantage of getting the reputation right now is that then Zoo School gives you the 4th rep, which puts native lizards in range, so could definitely be seeing Zoo School to draw up native lizards. Opponent builds a 1 size now. Yep, this is Zoo School. Wouldn't be surprised at all to see lizards drawn up. And also getting the Taz Devil because, yeah, Predators is still a project. Taz Devil gives 2 Predators. Not bad. Bison's not dead yet. It's still sort of in range, so that's okay. There is a Serengeti National Park. There is a macaque to go with that. Not the best release, but it is a project. Kind of, I don't know if it's brutal timing with the common European adder here. It's good timing stealing Dwarven's Association at 3 to get a partner zoo. But it's a bit less impactful in the early rounds, I think. And it's not a particularly good animal when you want to be spending a lot of money and getting some points for it. It's a bit like the eagle. Like you'd rather have it later in the game, but I mean, grabbing the Europe partner zoo is a little bit interesting. I mean, could that suggest a reptile breeding program for it? But I'm a big fan of upgrading Association first. When you have a lot of money, you want to be able to spend it, and donating is a good way to do that. Dwarven builds another 2 size. I'm guessing just to touch the Institute relatively soon. Like next break. Maybe then can look at playing the macaque from range or something. Opponent breaks. They still have 23 money for the round. Yeah, I think Dwarven's going to spend an X to grab just America's Partner Zoo. Still eyeing that Bison. If I'm the opponent, I'm seeing Dwarven grab America's Partner Zoo with an empty 5 size. I mean, you have to be a little bit concerned about the Bison here. It's not a dead giveaway that Dwarven wants it, but it does become a bit scarier with the America's Partner Zoo there. Opponent does not have hand size though, so they have to discard 3 cards here. But they are starting the round with Association at 5, while Dwarven's is at 1. There is a Raccoon as well. Also a European Bison. So, I mean, now there's 2 great sort of release targets for Dwarven here. And, yeah, the European Bison is just playable immediately as soon as this 2 size touches the Institute. But EP snaps up the Africa release. Victory column doing a bit of work still. Yeah, now look, 53 money to 28. See what this card's action can give. Communicator not bad here, although a little bit less important because both players already have 2 workers. Tech Institute's pretty nice. It does drop the Bison now. Glad you're enjoying Ark Eagle Storm. Ooh, and now America's release. So I mean, now if you're the opponent, you've seen Dwarven drop the Bison. It does mean America's release becomes high priority to deny, but they also don't know that Dwarven already has Bamboo Forest. I mean, they can probably suspect it. Oh wow, and they do start off with Reptile Breeding Program into 2 size reward. They get it ×2, but I'm a little bit critical of this move. I think Sponsors is one of the last things you actually want to put the ×2 on here. Like, typically Sponsors is a good action to put a ×2 on. But with only 3 cards in hand, I'm not convinced they actually have Sponsors to play, and they really don't need to cause a break with 50 money in hand. I mean, we're always cheering against Dwarven. For sure. I think it could have been a bit interesting to, like... I don't know, you could still, like, ×2 Association here, I think. Just get Association back up to 3 or 4. You can use the action to grab 3rd Partner Zoo for another worker and 1st University. I think that would be good, plus the double donation, really nice. So I probably would have done ×2 on Association for the opponent there. At the same time, we did talk about the University on 8, so I mean, they don't even need to grab a manual University. Tasmanian Devil pouching the bird breeding program. I mean, that does give Dwarventime 2 predators to support. Can also do the reptile breeding program that's here. Upgrade Sponsors. Kind of interesting. I mean, seems like a good time to play native lizards. We're touching a lot of the rocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, 4 of the rocks, and that's not a lot. We don't really need the extra work from Communicator right now. We'll see. Also, Diversity Researcher. 4 size. Could mean a lot of things. We know they did prioritize getting that Africa release earlier, so it could be a 4-size Africa animal. Could be a 4-size Americas animal with the Americas release here. Okay, and Dwarven actually starts off with the Technology Institute. I think that's pretty reasonable. It is Manga Bay. Yeah, I think 2 times build could have made sense as well. Well, yeah, I know you can obviously break with 2 times on sponsors for more money, but how much money do you need? Like, so the Manga Bay has been played, but they still have 23 money for the round. I think Tech Institute's basically a fine card to play at any stage of the game. I mean, we're still very early in the game. This is going to give at least 3 X tokens. I think Dwarven being in the position of someone who has a giant money deficit, like income is now 33 to 17, those extra X tokens to be able to break more often is pretty useful. So I'm a fan of the Tech Institute play here. Yeah, opponent just played the Manga Bay. They get a cards action from that. Dwarven is a bit concerned about the break, so yeah, spending an X to the project. Kind of interesting, grabs the 1 appeal, 2 rep. I guess it does a few things. It puts the raccoon in range. It gets us closer to 8 reputation for the worker, which we really don't need, I guess. But I think the main thing is it puts raccoon in range. The other thing it does is also ensures that Dwarven doesn't get the player sponsor for money just yet, so could potentially get a 2 size to touch both these rocks during the break and then get to 5 CP after that. Does take stamping for the raccoon. I mean, yeah. So it wasn't even to put the raccoon in range, it's just, I don't know, maybe saving the player sponsor for money for a little bit later to touch both of these rocks. True, I mean, yeah, you can also just leave these 2 uncovered for the endgame shield on it. But I think, surely you want to use the clever at some stage of the game. I feel like I'd rather just make use of the clever immediately and then just get the 2 extra appeal instead of not using it for 1 endgame shield. Okay, opponent does have Aquarium. They take Diversity Researcher. And just break with the second action. So, I mean, they're still in a great spot. They just, yeah, hopefully can spend all their money. But yeah, they have to discard down again. But I mean, they are about to get a 4-size enclosure back. They have Africa release. They're also kind of well on their way to reptiles here. Oh wow, look at the display here. Both players have snapping and 2-size. A lot of scary cards like the Americas release we talked about, but there's also a Rock Python here. Not only does it have the reptile tag, but also super annoying constrict ability. The Rhino is just generically good for both players. It's amazing for dwarvintime because there's just a free 5 Asia project to support. So I think the highest priority is probably denying the Rhino. Plus we already have the open 4-size in a second, so seems like the clear choice, but also Saltwater Crocodile with a double reptile tag and Dwarven having an empty 5-size. It's a lot of tough decisions to make. Opponent's not quite able to draw it up. Just with the 2-size. Yeah, just out of range. And Aquarium did cover the other card draw spot. But yeah, starts with the University straight after the break. Grabs a Science 2 Rep University into upgrading animals, I like. Just sitting on 63 money. And more reptiles show up, wow. Yeah, Crocodile, highest priority. Yeah, so I like this a lot. Now choosing to grab the 2 size. Just get build out of the way. We do not need build. And starting off with the cards, actually, I mean, there's a lot to draw up here. For sure, you draw up the Rock Python. Might even be interested in the Fox as well. Like, Fox is actually Predator number 4 with the Raccoon, and then Stoke could be Predator number 5. Oh, never mind. We just have 5 Predators in hand. But that's actually a reason why you always draw from the deck first, right? We now have the Cheetah, so we really don't need the Fox anymore. Even though it's still a decent animal, we might just want to draw it up anyway. Rock Monitor. I mean, kind of... I don't really want to say wasting the boost association. But yeah, I mean, the main problem is not having animals upgraded. Animals needs to be at 5 for this to happen. To be able to play like Raccoon into Bison, and we probably want to play native lizards anyway. I mean, we'll see. Yeah, opponent does start off with the Manga Bay release, and they take Clever. Big fan of taking Clever. I think, actually, I might have been a bigger fan of taking another Worker, actually. Just because the main thing is they would love to be able to support 2 projects this round. I'm not... Unless they have a way to grab another Worker, maybe they have plans to get to 8 reputation. I guess it's kind of possible with another university coming in here. Yeah, never mind. I guess it's actually very possible. Okay, I'm back on board with that then. Does get to 10, so I mean Dwarven's probably keeping small animal zoo here. Not ideal, but it's 1 shield at least. Yeah, so the current score we're looking at 30 to 17, 58 money to 35 money. Opponent has 3 upgrades to 2 upgrades. Like, they have all their both partner zoos, both universities. Dwarven's still missing a university. How can he keep getting away with this? Opponent choosing to clever back cards and sponsors. So yeah, clearly they want to build another large enclosure. I mean, that's another good sign for the opponent. Native lizards for 6 appeal, and just the reptile tag, pretty important. Yeah, another 4 size for the opponent. I think they could have definitely just built a 5 size. Like, just get the X token now. At the same time, this does leave a 2 size open up here for later in the game, which might be important. Oh yeah, not even mentioning that the opponent has a rhino in hand, and another 4 size animal, apparently. But this is a good start for Dwarven. Rock Monitor. Sunbathing is a huge ability to come back in the game. Can definitely sunbathe the Crocodile here, and Communicator for sure. Probably just those 2. Because we're going to play the Rock Python this move. It's a little bit wasted only constricting animals. Like, we'd love to constrict association here, but it's just important to get the 4th reptile tag out so we can do reptiles 4. Croc could have been 5 reptiles, but I kind of like this plan from Dwarven, right? The plan is play Raccoon Bison, release Bison, get the 5 size back, then Cheetah is 5 predators. Like, this line seems really good. Yeah, opponent doesn't care about the rep, and look at that. Galapagos Tortoise. I was a little bit concerned they couldn't spend their money, but they are spending their money. That's one of the best animals that you could play at this stage of the game. Sunbathing one card, so I mean, their hand is empty after this. We know the last card is the Rhino, which is about to be played here. So they instead decide to play Thorny Devil from range. Here's the thing. Dwarventime's about to support 4 reptiles, so I actually think it's a mistake. Actually, I'm not sure. Because the timing on the Rhino is really nice to play it right now, because you can just play the Rhino, spend 3 X's, grab Africa Partner Zoo, and do Habitat Diversity for 5. Species Diversity not an option because it's already up here. But I mean, playing the Thorny Devil does get you 4 reptiles, but what is this association action doing? Because Dwarven's about to block 4 reptiles. And yeah, we know EP has nothing else because the only card in hand is the Rhino. Dwarven does reptiles into worker. Okay, that's fair enough. Devil gives the Australia tag, yeah. Okay, I mean, that's fine. So we can even just play the Rhino this move, and it's not that bad at all. Yeah, that's reasonable. I mean, could also just spend this action just grabbing Partner Zoo plus 2 rep. I don't think that's the end of the world either. Like, Africa Partner Zoo 2 reputation seems fine. Ooh, there's also America's release from range here. Okay, here's an interesting question. Do you release the macaw or the tortoise? Macaw is a better release in terms of points by 1, but the tortoise gives you a 4 size back, so I guess it's a pretty obvious answer then. Yeah, getting that Africa Partner Zoo, so last worker bonus. Yeah. Huge reason why I like the Asos upgrade. But actually, it is the macaw that gets released. No, I think it's 1 point better, but at the same time, I mean, getting a 4 size back is really important when you have 37 income, I think. Yeah, okay, true. Tortoise is a reptile as well. What's the plan to get to 5 reptiles, though? I don't see it. An opponent just takes the fox here, so their hand is currently Rhino plus fox. I do like donating still. Dwarven just Xing back. Build. So could still look to play... Like, if I'm in Dwarven's position, you could definitely just spend some X's to play Raccoon Bison and then do the Americas release. Do the Bamboo Forest, or even do the Americas release, whatever. Plan for 5 reptiles is to get lucky. The other thing is, does EP even need 5 reptiles to close the game out? Because Rhino plus Fox gets you to something like 73, 74, 73. 5 habitats plus donation is like 91. Like, a 5th reptile would be nice. But we can, just with the amount of money that they have, they can probably finish it either way. Okay, they draw cards from the deck. What is the plan here, Dwarven? Cobra / Adder upside. Well, Adder's already gone. Cobra would be very specific. Okay, plan is spending some X's to play Raccoon Bison. Fairly sure that EP is going to break here. I mean, have a look at the score. Like, also the income difference is just evened out completely. Just because it's 25 appeal to 56 appeal, but the side entrance player still has more income. That's quite funny. Yeah, just break 5. You definitely want to break away Dwarventime's workers here. I don't know how the YouTube notifications work, but if it's the notifications from the Emu Cup Discord, I delete that because it always shows that I'm live when I'm just scheduling the stream, so I just delete those. 2 sides over that X token like we talked about before. Sitting on 5 X tokens. Also snapping up the Lesser Bird of Paradise. It's an interesting snap. Bit of an odd one, no? I mean, it's odd because both players should be so interested in this moose. Both of them can flock. EP has the Rhino. Dwarven has the Bison. It's flockable for both of them. It's playable for both of them. I was a little bit surprised by that. Dwarven snaps up the reindeer. I mean, reindeer over moose, okay. At the very least, reindeer's playable in this 3 size that we have, so fair enough. We're going to be playing like cheetah plus reindeer worst case scenario, so that makes sense. Hunting with bamboo forest. Actually, that... Because you could definitely just leech off the Americas release, but getting the reputation is actually really important for Dwarventime. It's not easy to get that last rep because of no upgraded animals. So, like, this 1 rep is actually a 2 conservation point rep from getting last worker. It's pretty funny. Does take clever ability. Very, very important. Without having animals upgraded. So this does give a clear path to victory. Like, Dwarven just plays cheetah plus reindeer, or cheetah plus another animal that is found with sprint into 5 predators, and that's game. 11. Yeah, it's just game. 100 exactly. We'll see what EP has here. Yeah, a 5th reptile would be huge here to get to 5, but I mean, yeah, it's just going to be Rhino plus... I mean, how is it not the moose? It's just the moose, right? Bird of Paradise is 1 point worse. The pavilion can give it clever, but it's not needed. I guess moose is a lot more expensive to play. Why is Dwarven so good? Okay, let's not feed his ego too much. Okay, let's see what this cheetah hunts. Wow. Cheetah sprint into boa constrictor. I mean, it's just 2 points better than the reindeer, but also the constriction. I don't know if it does end up costing any points, but you definitely want to have the X tokens available. So I guess it kind of does cost points, right? Because now if we have to spend 5 X tokens on grabbing last partner zoo, then you don't have any X tokens to do 2 animals next move. Yeah, so actually choosing to save the 3x tokens. So, I mean, that's one conservation point that it's cost. Hey, Ilya. I guess at the same time, getting the partner zoo plus donation would have crossed anyway. But also, saving 10 money could be important just for the animals that you want to play. Dwarven does have some good delaying moves. Choosing not to end yet, I don't think it's that risky. There's not very much that EP can do. I guess one candidate move for EP would be to grab 2 reputation, gets from 12 to 13, then the animals action would get to 14 extra CP. Still having 3x tokens to do animals 5. That could be a candidate, but that's only a 1 conservation point move, and sponsorship reptiles from display is a 5 appeal move, which is just strictly better. Well done, Ilya. That's a good win. 650. So yeah, EP is just, I guess, hunting for either another project to do or just better animals. Just drawing from deck here. And I don't know. Yeah, Dwarven really doesn't have anything to do to add to the score, so I think now is just a good time to end. Finishing on 107, and we'll see what EP has for a final move. Spending 2 X's, 2 animals, so choosing to do animals instead of a project. Moves from display, yeah, not surprised at all. 7 appeal animal that doesn't require an enclosure, really nice. Very surprised it's still on display here. And llama, double flocking. Perfect money, finishing on 108. Quick endgame check. Is it really nothing from either player? 0 endgame showing. No side entrance, no aquarium. No native lizards. No victory column. No tech institute. Nothing. It's just down to endgames. Small animal zoo for 2, sponsor zoo for 1. That is the win. Not blocking 5 reptiles? What do you mean blocking 5 reptiles? Dwarven already did 4. And EP doesn't have 5. Yeah, Aquarium didn't really pay off, but I mean, it was just like 4 free appeal at the time. Because it was from the times 2 sponsor action. Yes and no. I don't think the constriction won it. Because if EP had grabbed Partner Zoo and then donated, it would have been 100 points, so that was not an option. And the donation didn't really cost any points because there was perfect money to play Moose and Llama. But maybe the deciding move was EP choosing to do cards 3 instead of 2 reputation. Because think about the difference. If you get 2 reputation, you still get 1 card draw. If you do cards, you get to see 2 cards. But this guarantees you at least 1 conservation point. So it's like 1 card plus 1 guaranteed shield versus 2 cards, no points. That was really the deciding move. It's obviously hard to say without knowing the cards that EP drew up with that last cards action. But if the llama was already in hand, then I think you have basically no reason to do a cards action there. Yeah, I mean, we can double check that. I am curious. Okay, we got to look from the other POV. Yeah, boa constrictor also the difference. Very good draw, that boa constrictor. There were some other animals that could have been better, but a 7 appeal animal that just fit in the 3 size, there's not going to be too many better than that. Yeah, let's have a look at this last cards action. What an interesting opening. I mean, side entrance McCaw for sure, yeah? The adder was another one? Native Farm? Did Native Farm die? Okay, the llama was from the card draw. So, I mean, the funny thing is that getting 2 rep would have drawn up the llama as well. Yeah, Bowl was... Okay, yeah, good point. Bowl was 8 appeal because it also gave the extra from sponsorship reptiles. Yeah. 100% yes. That's correct. That's a good catch, Robert. I completely missed that. Yeah, so here's the other thing. Llama was 4 appeal versus these in hand that was only 3 appeal. So, like, the card's action gave +1 point. But yeah, 2 rep would have done it. Very interesting game, though. I mean, just the whole time I was watching, I was thinking there's no way Dwarventime can win this. But we could see, like, a small glimmer of hope when Dwarven got to 4 reptiles first. Then obviously the Bison release was huge into 5 Predators. And yeah, without that Boa Constrictor sprint action, definitely a loss. So, I mean, great game from EP. I think they did play pretty well. Big fan of the Asos raid first. They donated 4 times. They spent their money perfectly. Like, no complaints there. They had so much money from side entrance and they spent it all. That's a huge, like, positive. Very easy to get caught into a trap of, like, finishing the game with 80 money. But they could spend it all. Endgame, yeah. Sponsor Zoo for 1. Panda saying their other endgame was Large Animal Zoo, which also would have been the win. I think at the time it was pretty early on. I know they had the sloth there in the 4 size. They had the Manga Bay, but they were also going to release it. I can understand wanting to keep Sponsor Zoo at the time. Yeah, I think EP did have quite a few chances to get Native Lizard, so also could have prioritized that. Yeah, 28 turns. I mean, that was a high-quality game. But we'll move on to our second game of the Emu Cup Season 2. Not the second game of the Emu Cup, but the second game for tonight's stream that just happened to be from the Emu Cup. Rundalla versus Howell. So, anyone that followed the Emu Cup Season 1 knows that Rundalla was part of, like, every single close game in the group stages. Like, any tie or 1-point victory, you knew for sure that Rundalla was in that game. Just, like, crazy how close they all are. So, I mean, we have another Rundalla special here. Not spoiling who wins, we're just looking at it from Rundalla's perspective because he's the first player, which is generally how we spectate these games. I mean, look at this for an opening hand. My god. So I think 2 very clear keeps. Technology Institute Expert on Americas. Yes. Americas fitting the habitat diversity based project. Cool. Tech Institute just really strong. Research Zoo endgame heavily leans towards spokesperson. Like, I think that's also a clear choice. And then what is the last one? Is it actually a Monkey Park game? Like, probably not the Capuchin here, because we want to get diverse habitats, not just all in on Americas. Snowy Owl's just unplayable. The 2 reptile ones, no thank you. I mean, I can definitely see Monkey Park here. Just all 4 sponsors to start. And we are just going to move this to fast instead of very fast. I like it on fast. Alright.
Gute Nacht.
Sorry, we can just call him Randall. And display is looking really good as well. I mean, look at this. Martin plus release project for it here. Talented communicator, science library. But this is one of the coolest opening moves that you'll ever see in a game. How often can you say that you ended the first turn of the game with 3 X tokens in your hand? Never? Monkey Park into player sponsor, play Tech Institute. 3 X tokens is the end of the first move of the game. What? Fun fact. If you were to put Monkey Park this way and play like Okapi stable as well, then I believe you could get 4 X tokens, Okapi into Technology Institute. Don't quote me on that. I think it should fit over this X token somehow, but maybe that's the polar bear exhibit shape. I have no idea. Anyway, cool start. Monkey Park into Tech Institute. We also have a university on 5 and a partner on 8. Could be a pretty important habitat diversity race. How starts off with federal grants. I mean, not bad at all. Another very high quality sponsor. I mean, now this is a tough choice. There is a lot of good things that are snappable here. Taco, Science Library. Yes, Science Library. We have a spokesperson. We already have 2 science tags. We have a research endgame. But we also want an animal, so do you just draw from the deck? Do you just snap up Taco? I don't know. Why keep Monkey Park? Compared to all the other cards, I think it's a pretty reasonable choice. Like, are you keeping the Sea Turtle tank ahead of it? Are you keeping the Capuchin, which we already talked about, not that good because we don't want to all in on Americas, I don't think. Yeah, for sure. Randella saying could look at snapping Savannah and build an empty petting zoo to drop the Martin. I don't mind that as an idea. But I think drawing from the deck is reasonable as well. And wow, look at that. Kangaroo with Australia release. It's a pretty sad horse discard here, but it's definitely the horse. That's why you always draw from deck. Even with a communicator here, it's crazy. How well starting off with a 5 size themselves. Taking the Martin, so I think they're going for this sort of Martin into the 5 size Savannah line, which I'm a fan of as well. I think that's a good play. So they could do that this round. Randella starting off with Australia Partner Zoo just, I mean, makes the kangaroo cheaper. Plus Australia, well, hang on. Australia is a project and herbivores are a project. What the hell? This guy's a little bit too expensive to play this round. So it's going to lead to a bit of a slow start for Randella. And we'll see. The thing is, Howell can't go for this line immediately because of these just X tokens. If Howell does cards here, then Randell just breaks. So yeah, just having to start with a partner zoo. I mean, they could also just have a predator anyway. It's also a good point. Where is this 4 size going? There is no 4 size spot on the map. Bit awkward. Xing back animals. So expert on Americas can solve this issue. Can just like kiosk here, 4 size down here. That's probably the solution. Ooh, just straight up playing the macaque. Not even pilfer. Just playing it. Okay. I mean, that could... Well, that definitely signals the release, right? It's in a 5 size. I was going to say maybe breeding program, but no, that's a release in the 5 size. That could make the lemur very interesting. Like, if that's a release, then the lemur can leech off it, and lemur's a better release. Okay, there's expert on Americas. Yeah, chaos there just makes more sense touching the park restaurant. How well does cards? I mean, there's so many good cards here. That's a bit awkward. Randella can grab Communicator with just building the 4 size. You could snap it, but I think if you plan on snapping it, then you'd rather just build a 2 size to draw it up, either here or here. Like a 3 size, whatever. Science Library is the other one I'm looking at. Could snap away the lemur to deny leeching off the project. Okay, that is the plan. Yeah, I don't know. I might have built a 3 size first just to get this communicator out of range. Yeah, okay, 5 size, drawing up Taco for sure. And how about just break? So Science Library dies. I'm a bit shaken by that, but yeah, it was just a stacked display, a lot of higher priority cards. Out of all these, I guess spokesperson goes, but get a little bit sad. Yeah, good point, Ratpong. I mean, they saw Randella X-Pack animals, so it just makes sense to play the macaque instead of waiting to pilfer. Great calculation from Randella, perfect money, 20. Starting with a cards action as well, just to get maximum pouching ability, so this is certainly going to be from the deck. What? What the hell is that? Just draw from the deck for pouch. Wait, why on earth do we want the Savannah so bad? See, always draw from deck. How about now building a 4 size over player sponsor for money? Oh my god, migration recording right before the release? Okay, now the lemur makes a lot of sense. Can release the macaque straight into lemur release. That's amazing. I mean, I don't think Savannah Snap was still good. Like, this could have been a first seal. A first seal and a card to pouch. Instead, we're pouching nothing. I mean, how else starts off with the jungle, which we did expect to come, but gonna be 1 conservation short of getting this university. Does snap up the bamboo forest. I mean, makes a lot of sense. Just seen Randella play a red kangaroo into 5 size. But also migration recording, so any release is just amazing. Yeah, this is going to be a pretty clutch university grab. I mean, snapping makes a lot of sense. Just get the first seal. But also... I mean, we're grabbing university. I'd be very tempted to upgrade sponsors and then just break 7 still. Next round, you could look at grabbing a second partner as you upgrade animals to play the first seal. I think that's fine. Seen all the release projects. I mean, 1, 2 plus Savannah plus Bamboo Forest. But there's only 4 release projects. Science 2 rep. I like the sponsors upgrade. How well playing that lemur. These X tokens have actually been so just impactful. Like, just the threat of being able to break from nearly anywhere in action order is just, like, ideally how I would have preferred to do cards to sunbathe some stuff first, I guess. Yeah, we don't have to play Taco. But yeah, just upgrading the sponsors for more money is definitely correct, I think. We actually see how well upgrading cards first, which is not that common. But I can understand the reasoning. Like, only one card in hand, we know it is the Bamboo Forest, so just trying to hit like a herbivore or something. But the good thing in Howell's position is they do have this partner zoo locked up, basically. They just have to release the lemur. They also have to do it before this Savannah project comes down, because that's coming kind of soon. Have snapping here, so I mean, probably is most interested in the vet, I guess. Matches the endgame with Tech Institute. A little bit sad that there's no bonus for getting third uni on this map. What the heck? The wallaby? We have a goat here. We know the horse is dead. Goat with card draw, but I mean yes, but habitat diversity? What about the water dragon at least? We can still go for 5 habitats. I'm not going to snark too much. Howell does snap up the Tamarin, which is very useful that it came into display on their turn to snap. Because it's playable for both players, but yeah, it does give that America's tag. Pretty nice. Well, okay, yeah, Howell seems like they're giving up on habitats, but also neither of you will hit it if you don't go for it. Howell just starting with cards. Snapping the monitor. Now, obviously, we understand the appeal of wanting to release it with the Australia release, but I don't think it's snappable there. I think for sure we want to draw into some other things. I think that's a bit too one-track minded. Like, we already have one release coming up with the lemur. I don't think the Gould Monitor is that snappable in that situation, especially with an upgraded cards action. That feels pretty bad to do. Okay, here we have Petting Zoo. Okay, Petting Zoo over the rep does give another upgrade. That also explains the Science 2 rep uni. It is animals. How well just doing that project now. Which, I mean, yeah. Just secure the partner zoo. I think that's fine. Into 2 size reward. Honestly, might not even need the 2 size reward. But the thing is, it's probably just strictly better than 5 money right now, because you can use those 2 sizes to surround the restaurant, so it gives income anyway. Howell does grab Asia Partner Zoo. Upgrades animals. Yeah, migration recording, so that's number 2 migration. Denies the goat. Fine, I mean, the petting zoo has done something. It's made a goat denial. I think we know a lot of Howell's hand, and it's not that scary at the moment, so... Rondella choosing not to spend an X here on animals. Yeah, straight into First Seal. First Seal plus Savannah release. Could even do 2 Australia first. How breaks 5. I mean, not that surprising. We know a lot of their hand, and I don't think they have any sponsors, right? They have a goat, they have a Gould monitor, they have bamboo forests, and one other card. Style points. Likely we get the X token back during the break anyway. Donating an X token to the Ark Nova gods. Even Randall is surprised. Yeah, I do like the Essos upgrade here. I mean, obviously with Habitat still a race, and just the fact that you get 2 CP for Last Partner Zoo, upgrading Essos makes a lot of sense here. How well does animals? Yeah, Gould Monitor, not surprising at all to see that. Yeah, I think Panda and Randall are making a good point that doing 2 Australia there for Randall would sort of open up the ×2 to start off next round. Like, if you can find a conservation point from the board or from a sponsor or an animal, then it does give you lines where you get a ×2 on association, which is something that's really powerful. And oh yeah, so that was the last animal that we did know about, the cotton top tamarin. Keeping research zoo. Randall spending some X's. He might as well get rid of them. But yeah, just spending worker before the break, upgrades cards. So Randall has all card upgrades done. Howell has both partner zoos, but no universities. So that's an area where Randall has an advantage right now. Otherwise, Howell's just ahead in points and in income's basically the same. I mean, Howell's ahead by like 3 income because 2 sides can touch the restaurant during the break to get that extra 2. And Howell doing another snap action, snapping up the Badger. Probably remembering the Savannah project from round 1, or round 2, so that's good memory. Discarding 1 card. Maybe being a little too snap heavy, if we're going to be critical. Because drawing from deck there would have been Europe Release plus Slow Worm. That's a pretty good combination. I mean, Howell does have first snap here. Wouldn't be surprised at all to see Europe Release get snapped up. But could also be interested in the breeding program, I guess. Wait. Howell has 4 continents. When did that happen? So breeding program or slow worm both do the job of getting 5 continents. Possible that they already have a Europe in hand. Otherwise, I think for sure slow worm would have been the right pick there. Just sort of good action order to play it thread into Habitats 5. I think you do have to be a bit worried that Randalla could steal Habitats 5. I mean, the other advantage that Howell has is an empty 5 size and a 2 size. Randella has no empty enclosures, although we'll get this 5 size back relatively soon. Oh, sorry, we know that Howell has the Badger. So I mean, yeah, that was the point of grabbing the Badger last round to get that Europe tag. So no complaints there from me then. Yeah, chat pointing it out too. That's not the ideal card draw that you want right now. Barn Owl, Hut, Ornithologist, good combo, but way too slow. Can probably ditch both of these. Primatologist, a tiny bit interesting with the Monkey Park. So at the very least, it gives you money and an X token. Fine. Also goes well with the macaque that's already here. Although that's not playable at the moment. Really, the Primatologist. I think for sure the bird combo can go. Yeah, how well playing the Badger just to secure the 5 continents. So, I mean, it's pretty funny. Release, starting with double animal release, still winning Habitats 5. I guess to be fair, Randella's also starting with sort of double animal release. Builds the 3 size into randomly drawing a second petting zoo animal from deck. Not bad. Interesting timing on the 3 size. Because can't afford Flamingo or the Macaque right now. How well builds a 2 size and takes Siberian Tiger from display. Could be an option for this 5 size here. And Randall just doing sponsors for 8. Breeding program could be a possibility. Breeding program plus communicator. Vet as well. Vet plus communicator, sure. Okay, yeah, vet does give enough money for the Flamingo. But now we're playing the Flamingo without the bird combo. I mean, could also grab like Asia Partner Zoo. Probably want to do a project instead. Yeah, true. Vet for science endgame as well. And just like we said, the double sort of endgame synergy with Tech Institute and the vet gives you a ton of reason to grab last uni. I mean, look at this position. Howell's done 3 projects to 1. 35 points to 7. Same money, better income. More empty enclosures. Migration recording. Like, what is going on? Randall starting off with double petting zoo, which is fine. Like, good time to pouch. We have quite a few useless cards in our hands. And great timing by Howell. So grab those 3x tokens from Project Reward and just breaking here. Break while Randella has 3 workers unspent. Both players are out of money, so I mean, that's about even. But yeah, breaking away the workers is huge here. Already forgot Vet. You could really do it in either action order. You could either do the project first or do the animals first. Doing the animals first means it gets rid of some of the cards in your hand. Doing the project first gives you access to 2 sizes for longer, which could be more valuable. But yeah, if you forget Vet, then you just do animals first into a SOS, obviously. True, yeah. Also saving this times 2, yeah. That's still open. Howell does snap up the Dusky Leaf Monkey. So that could be an option for like the primate breeding program. It's also just going to make this Siberian Tiger that he grabbed earlier playable much sooner. I mean, I'm definitely eyeing the research project here if I'm Rundella. Aquarium. It does fit. There are some good water tags in hand. I guess we already have projects to do, like Habitats 4, Australia 2, Savannah. Aquarium makes sense. Yeah, plus Flamingo here as well. Or Rhino. Partner Zoo no 2 rep. It's kind of cute. This is a This is a ×2 on association, right? That seems very risky. The payoff is huge if we can do double project. That seems incredibly risky. How about starts off with cards? The research project is not actually in range for Howell. Howell still has projects to do, can still release the Gould Monitor. Yeah, I mean, the payoff would be massive if we can do double project here. Yeah, just starting to X-back actions to make it happen. Like, it's still kind of awkward for Howell to break. Hornbill. Love that timing on the Hornbill. I mean, Hornbill plus Dusky Leaf Monkey, probably. Gets cards out of the way first and then build down. Great timing. And now, yeah, now the Siberian Tiger is just playable. Playing Aquarium. Good covering of the X token. True, we have Vet here. So, I mean, double project is just a thing right now. The best move for Howard might just be to break 7 here. I mean, obviously Howard wants to do... The thing is, it's like a trade-off. One project for yourself, but the other part of the trade-off is you have to spend 3 X tokens. I think it's still worth it. But you also have to discard 2 cards, which I guess you have to do anyway, but... Yeah, so I mean, doing the Gould Monitor release into 12 money, so it does make the Tiger playable this round, which is something. Randella does remember Vet, so yeah, Habitat Diversity, massive 2-size reward. Not donating makes enough sense. And to Australia, yeah. I like this as well, just sort of starving the projects. Like, not throwing out Savannah because we know that Howell can leech off it. And I guess the other part of that is that we need to do to Australia first before we do Savannah anyway. But I mean, the timing kind of worked out nicely, right? We have Asia partners who are ready to go for the macaque. Like, this double pilfer could be very influential. I guess it's single pilfer right now. Howell plays Expert on Asia, which just puts it in range of double pilfer. Oh no, 24 appeal. Two sizes misplaced. For sure. I mean, 2 size down here kind of makes a lot of sense, right? We drop the Flamingo. It's a 2 size touching water with the Aquarium. But I guess we can do cards here anyway. Big nose. Big nose with an empty 5 size coming up. Interesting. Howard is going to start by playing this Tiger, and yeah, I like the Asos upgrade. I think I've said that a lot tonight. But look at this, 77 points. 5 X tokens. Crundell's about to catch up a little bit here. Man, double pilfers, yeah, really nice. 2 sides gives access to Clever during the break. Yeah, this is true. At the same time, if we're building a 2 size here, it's also not touching water. And I think Flamingo is a pretty high priority animal for us to play. Howell gives money twice. What do we actually know about Howell's hand right now? I don't think we know anything apart from like bamboo forest. Okay, yeah. So two sides here, flamingo, pavilion, clovers. Yeah, good point too. How about doing a cards action to get the rhino? Another snap with operated cards at 5. However, this is definitely a lot more justified, right? I mean, rhino's completely justified. It's just fits in the 4 size. It gives Asia 5 as a project. The finish is just rhino plus Asia 5. Done. Randella's building 3 size here for the other flamingo. Fine. How well correctly spends an X token to break there, getting the X token back. I mean, the game should be over in 2 moves. Rhino plus maybe Shoebill. I think Howell can afford Shoebill. Rhino plus Shoebill. Asia 5, done. Game over. Two sides of the clever. Like, not that we even need the... like, we have enough X tokens that it doesn't matter anyway, but... yeah, there is 2 sides over the clever. Okay. Galapagos is very playable here. Okay, I mean, that's the answer. We don't care about this flamingo at all. But yeah, can even get sponsors out of the way. We can spend only 2 X tokens, grab America's Partner Zoo, plus do the Savannah project. So then, like, final move could be Galapagos plus Big Nose. That's a massive final turn. Wow. Even denying the primate breeding program. Don't think that matters too much, because, like, I mean, the Rhino project's just enough to finish anyway, so whatever. Donating. Rhino plus Shoebill. Remembered Vet. Yes, very nice. This is why Tortoise is such a good animal. I mean, look at this. What a crazy, like... it just gives you the money with the 4 sunbathing. If you sunbathe 4 cards, it only costs 11. It's ridiculous. Plus the extra CP here. Like, this is actually getting really close to crossing. Just shot up to 97 points. I think Tortoise is a huge, like, winning animal. This is... I mean, I'm on Panda's team here. I think this may just be the best animal in the game. How are we looking for endgame points? So if Randella grabs Last University here, then it is pretty important, actually. 2 CP from Research, 2 CP from Endgames. It's a 4 CP University. How I'll just... spending a lot of X tokens, so... I mean, that's a really fun last action. This is actually going to be unlocking 3 workers in 1 turn. That's insane. Yeah, unlocking worker from project reward. unlocking worker from 3rd partner zoo and unlocking worker from 2 reputation, just for that extra 1 conservation point. 1 reputation short of federal grants. Take note of that. I mean, what is the best final move for Randall here? Like, it's just university. I mean, the 2 rep as well doesn't do anything. Just for show, I guess. I mean, why not? Communicator. 1 from Small Animal Zoo. 115 to 114 Rundella win. So, I mean, the end games were, yeah, 3 from Research, 1 from Communicator, both those end games from Vet Tech Institute. And just solitary 1 endgame shield from Small Animal Zoo. Exactly, average Rundella game. That was, I mean, I knew the result. That was crazier than I thought. I mean, I thought I just opened up the wrong game. I was like, how on earth did this turn into a win? It's actually crazy that Howell had the win just by denying last university. Like, grabbing worker, partner zoo, 2 rep, gave 1 endgame shield, but denying the last university. Hey, is it better? I guess it's still the same result, because Rundella can do Primates 2 plus Donate. Then it's like still 3 CP instead of 4 CP for the Uni plus endgames. Yeah, I still think blocking Uni is not the win either. It's actually just the same result, 1 point victory. But you would have to have the knowledge that Rundella has Research endgame, which is not that clear. And also have the knowledge that he doesn't have a better project to do, which is also not that clear. This was a rough one. I mean, like, definitely dominating the whole game. 1 rep short of federal grants. Just a lot of other endgames that it could have been to get the win. Like, diverse species, conservation zoo. I guess favorite zoo doesn't do it. Research zoo doesn't. Naturals would have done it. Large animal would have done it. I mean, I am completely with you. I am so, like, broken from losing my first 3 Emu Cup games. Like, Ark Nova is just a game, but it does mean a lot to me. So losing does hurt. And yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this at the start, but Howell was one of the people that I lost to, so Howell's not doing too badly. They're ahead of me in the Emu Cup standings right now. I think that was a pretty fast one as well. Yeah, 27 turns, 28 turns. And look at this, 9 association actions. Yeah, I'm wondering if the turning point was just not breaking 7 to break up the ×2 on a source. Like, that could have definitely been the game decider. But I think also the tortoise showing up is very unfortunate timing. That was like the perfect animal. Yeah, casual 18 X tokens gained. It is a lot easier to play the game when you have X tokens. Like Tech Institute from the first round. Monkey Park gave a few. Yeah, 9 association actions. pretty good efficiency from both players. Not many build actions, not many cards actions. Rundella did X back a couple of things instead of doing the action. And Howell was playing that whole game without any universities, so it is harder to play with less upgrades as well. I mean, even though Rundella was massively behind on points, there was the sort of upgrade advantage for a lot of it. But yeah, that is all we're going to look at today. I won't bring up the Emu Cup standings. I don't want to spoil any other results, but I'm sure we'll look at some more games next week and we can have a look at the standings then. But yeah, otherwise, thanks all for watching, and see you guys on Sunday for the BGA Sunday stream. Have a good rest of the day.